a bit sick and tired of hearing people screaming to landlords, "You're just greedy, you're screwing me, you're greedy." Yet, they ain't moving. They ain't improving. These people aren't trying to change their situation at all. They're screaming that their landlord is guilty. Now, the newest thing is, well, if I do improvements, my landlord shouldn't increase my rent. Well, you know what? A lot of landlords will work with you if you actually do improvements, if you actually do things like that. If it's not in the contract, say like you do put new countertops in or something like that. But truthfully, coming from a whole line of realtors, landlords ain't making a whole lot of money. Oh, trust me, it's made in volume. That's why they own multiple houses. But getting back to my point is, why does my rent keep going up? Well, because y'all keep getting your taxes raised. You'd know that if you pay taxes. You know, everybody says, well, then you should freeze rent. Well, they tried that in New York City, and that's how we got Harlem and the Bronx and Hell's Kitchens. That's why you had dilapidated buildings all over town, because, well, they froze rent, but they wouldn't freeze taxes. So while the landlords couldn't raise the rent to cover the taxes, the politicians kept raising the taxes. And eventually, they got to the point where they couldn't afford it anymore. And hey, guess what? Instead of having a nice place where 50 families can live, you got 50 families on the street. You know, it always amazes me. These people are willing to pay $3,500 a month for rent, but claim they can't afford a $1,200 a month house payment. Well, that house isn't going to do what I want. Well, you know what? It's a roof. It's not what I want. Well, it's a start. How am I supposed to afford that? You afforded that new car you're driving. You didn't need a new car. The one you traded in was paid for. You didn't need that brand new iPhone. The phone you had would have lasted you another year. You don't need Wi-Fi. You don't need streaming. You don't need a 3-bedroom. There's only one of you. You might just need a studio. The fact of the matter is if you want it bad enough, you're going to find a way to get it. And I'm getting a little sick and tired of people wanting to blame the landlords because they can't afford nothing. Well, who did you elect? Oh, I forgot. You elected that guy who flat out said they were going to raise your taxes. Well, guess what? They raised your taxes. Well, why should I pay? I don't own the house, but you're living in it. There seems to be this disconnect. There's just an absolute disconnect between reality when it comes to some of you people. It's not the landlord's job to provide you with a place to rent. You sought him out. You made a deal with him. He didn't need you. He's got a dozen of you. But you sure needed him. So, if you're getting tired of that, how are you going to fix it? How are you going to change your situation? So I'll tell you right now, that ain't the landlord's problem. You know, if you like the house and he's looking to get out of it, hey, you never know. He might actually sell it to you. It could happen. The thing is, there's a lot of things in this world that you want to blame on other people, like your landlord. Your living situation is not your landlord's property. Or property. It's not your landlord's problem. You want better? Then you need to figure out how to do better. But you can't start off at the nines. You got to start off. Life is about growth. Sometimes you got to start off a little broke, like you are. Fake it till you make it? No. People can spot a fraud. You got to figure it out, and then you got to build. And how much you build and how you get to where you are, that's all on you, Bubba. So figure it out, because I'll tell you right now, ain't nobody going to fix your situation but you. And if you can't afford to live where you're living, you either need to figure out where you're spending, you either need to get a second job, or you either need to move to a place you can't afford. Because I'll tell you right now, that ain't the landlord's problems. That is 100% you. I know it sounds, people are going to come and say, you don't know my situation. I do know your situation. I've been there. And guess what? I worked really hard. I ain't there anymore. But I tell you right now, it don't happen in your 20s. If it does, you're lucky. But I'll tell you, you need to figure it out, because if life was easy, it wouldn't be interesting.